जब चालू किया था तब तो टेबल और कुर्सी खरीदने के पैसे नहीं थे.
क्या बात कर
वी रेंटेड जो शादी वाली लक्कड़ की टेबल होती है ना, एंड वी पुट दैट वाइट कपड़ा चादर जो होती है वो लगा के हमने काम चालू किया था. वी डिड नॉट हैव एनी आइडिया दैट कि कार देखो या ऐसा कुछ नहीं था. When we started off the day one, we actually went and updated our profiles. We want to build a $1 billion company.
Nice.
और कैसे होगा नहीं पता. One inspiration I got was from दिल चाहता है. If you remember, there was a open top 4-seater.
Yes.
Not 2-seater.
Yeah.
And those 3 boys go in that car. So उस टाइम पे बहुत मन कहता है ये गाड़ी होनी चाहिए.
Welcome back to Mashable Mornings presented by Coworks. I must say, I've officially become a part of the 5 AM club. Or so I think. But today we are going to be talking to a CEO and co-founder of a unicorn startup that's based out of our pink city, Jaipur. This startup is shaping the future of India by changing how we move. So let's go and talk to Amit Jain, the co-founder and CEO of CarDekho.com. Welcome to the Mashable Mornings. कैसे हो आप?
Thanks buddy. Very nice. How are you?
Super, super. I was...
Good weather.
Yeah, decent weather, no?
Yeah.
It's the tropics, so it's warm.
Totally.
You come from Jaipur because CarDekho is headquartered in Jaipur. That's a unique step to take.
Yeah, it's my hometown. I was born, brought up there. I love the city. All my family lives there. We're a joint family.
Ji.
So it's a big family that we have. And it's fun living there. I find my mental peace there.
So cool. Matlab, the thing was that you were never imagining ever to headquarter it in any place like a Bangalore or Delhi or Mumbai ever?
No, never. I actually shifted to Jaipur for my joint family.
Okay.
Something personal, but in 2006 I lost my father to cancer. And that's when me and my brother both decided to move to Jaipur, and then we started this company, Girnarsoft. And that is the reason why we stay in Jaipur still, because we really like it there. And we still have all our extended relatives out there, all my buas and their kids, and we are all very close. So we usually are like assembling 3-4 times a month, 30-40 people in a house. So it's like a big joint family.
It's a perfect Indian parivar.
Bada parivar.
Bada parivar. So you were doing a frontline person's job basically when you were in Austin.
I was a software developer. So I was actually a coder.
Correct.
And I've coded for 15 years of my life. So many parts of CarDekho I've coded.
Oh wow.
And I still code. It does not go live now, but at heart I'm a coder always.
Super, super. So essentially what I was talking about is I was born and brought up in Hyderabad. And my friends talk to me about how Dallas and Texas are, and they say sometimes Dallas Puram hai. It is not. That's how many Indians are there. So what was life over there like?
So I stayed in Austin, Texas, not Dallas. And Austin is a very spread out big town, big city. And you have got University of UTA, Texas Austin जो अपने वहाँ पर है. वहाँ पर एकदम life है, मतलब clubs and everything. And apart from that, it's a very spread out. I used to stay in a place called Riata Apartments back then. And very nicely done bungalow kind of a setup. Ground and first, not high-rise building. And I like it like that. I have been living in Jaipur, so we also have a garden and all.
Yeah.
So I like that kind of setup. So I used to live there in Austin in huge space. You could not see people around. So from point A to point B, finding a human being was very difficult. So once I reached there, and at that point of time, I'm talking about 2000, there were no live Google Maps and internet on a phone like we have today. You had those Yahoo Maps which you could take a print out.
Oh wow.
So what would happen is that if you say you get lost on the way, it was so difficult to find the way, and you have to take an exit, go to the nearest petrol station, ask the way where it is. It was definitely a struggle back then, and especially in Austin because you don't find people anywhere.
Yeah.
It's sparsely populated, so it was even more difficult for that reason.
Correct. I mean, बिना गाड़ी के वहाँ पर काम नहीं चलता.
ना impossible.
है ना?
वहाँ गाड़ी तो चाहिए आप, और कोई बाइक्स का वो चाल चलन है नहीं. So everybody basically is in the car. And it's, as I said, you won't find people outside the car. You'll always find people. So if you're on the road or highway, or even going to your office, you'll see people finally in the parking.
Wow.
You don't find people walking around also while you travel.
Oh, such an interesting life because.
But if you go to the UTA, the 6th Street and all, in the
that's happening.
That's happening. Then that's the reverse problem. You can't drive in the street. There's so much crowd.
Oh wow, interesting.
And there are good Indian restaurants there. I still remember.
That's an Indian thing. आप जिधर जाओ आप अपना देसी खाना पाई लेते हो, ढूंढ ही लेते हो.
मैं बनाता भी खूब हूँ.
हाँ क्या?
I cook a lot. Yeah.
Oh wow.
I love cooking by the way.
Oh so cool. So like you're in the vegetarian exploration of.
Yeah, I'm a veggie.
Yes.
So of course all veg things.
Super.
I cook. I can cook from kadai paneer to bhindi and whatever, right? Me and my brother Anurag, both have cooked for months together. So.
Oh wow, because you've done that life.
Yeah, हम रोटी भी बनाना जानते हैं, everything, आटा मारना भी जानते हैं.
अरे super super. Suddenly all the boys in the gang who are listening to this will understand how important it is to know how to make a good roti. जब वो फूलती है तो you know that
exactly. और गोल भी होनी चाहिए.
Of course.
बिना
यंत्र नहीं,
बिना कुछ काटे हुए ऐसे ऊपर से डाल के डायरेक्ट बेलना होता है.
वाह यार क्या बात है. So tell me this, you come in and you do not choose to have the family business because I understand there was a decently run family business, and knowing the Jain folks that I am friends with, my chachi's Jain, I know that it is a big responsibility that the men of the family sometimes are assumed कि भाई यही करेंगे. So what was that story?
I'll give you a bit of background. We are not a business family.
Okay.
My grandfather was in government service, and my father was in Reserve Bank of India, again government service.
Yeah.
So we were brought up as a very job oriented culture, right?
तो ये research में jewelry वाला
मैं बताता हूँ उसकी कहानी. तो my father is the only son to my grandfather.
Oh.
And he got transferred to Kashmir.
Okay.
In Reserve Bank. So, and of course Kashmir with that 91, 92 time was not a place that my grandfather would want my father to go, given the tensions that were happening there. So the grandfather and father basically kind of agreed that let's take a sabbatical. And when he took a sabbatical, we had a neighbor who was into gemstones and jewelry. So dad started learning gemstone and jewelry there. And that's how the whole gemstone and jewelry angle comes from 90 to 93. And at that point of time, we also started ice cream parlor.
Oh wow!
It was called Girnar Ice Cream Parlor. Girnar is my house name, so
super. So that's the name that sticks.
Yeah. And the company legal name is also Girnarsoft.
That's
right?
true.
Girnarsoft is private limited. CarDekho is just a brand. So he started doing that, and then he finally learned how to buy goods here, take orders from US, ship them there. So it was a trading business, not manufacturing, but trading. So you buy here and then you sell there. And he ran it for many years until he was alive. And it was a small, medium-sized business, or not very large, of course. So we tried our hands on that. But the thing was that we were not getting that intellectual stimulus. For 6 months we tried it, and on one side you had a very different set of people whom you would buy from, and then you would have a very different set of people whom you would sell to, and both were not giving us that intellectual stimulus because we are coders and we had worked in a very different gentry, so we felt it's not giving us that kick. So but I think the good part about that was that for the 6 months we did it, we actually got grounded. Because when I saw, look, at Trilogy, or even my brother, right, he was at IIT we then, we would travel business class, we would stay in 5 stars. And then when I reached that business, it was not like that, right? You run it like a small entrepreneur, right? So it was a house run business. He would stay in cheapest of hotels in New York, LA, San Francisco. So we followed what he did, and he was no longer there, but we basically made sure we stay in same places, met the same clients. Like you would go थैला लगा के सैंपल लेके जाते हो, एंड बाहर से ही यू आर ट्राइंग टू एंटर द शॉप, बंदा ऐसे भगा देगा हाथ करके. तो आपके शॉल बेचने वाले आते हैं आपके घर पे, राइट? जैसे आप नॉट श्योर बॉम्बे में होता है कि नहीं, जयपुर में नहीं
हरियाणा में होता है,
राइट? तो शॉल लेके आते हैं ना ये अपने, और उनको भगा देते हो. तो ऐसा मेरे साथ होता था और मेरे भाई के साथ होता था, राइट? तो दैट वाज बेसिकली ग्राउंडिंग अस टू अ लेवल की ह्यूमिलिटी आ गई बहुत. तो हवाई जो उड़ते थे ना, मैंने became grounded from that experience, and that kind of also helped in forming a DNA later on when we started Girnarsoft 6 months out. But I think that was a very humbling experience, and I actually could appreciate my father's effort lot more, because like coming from IIT and working in a MNC, I would always advise him on how he should look at expanding. But when I got to the ground, I said, "Yaar, sab advice begaad di." You had to live this life to even make an opinion or advice. So so that's when I've realized that there is a lot of value on going to ground. Whenever we start any new business, you'll find me on the ground and then coming back, right, on the top. Because that's how we learn. If you don't relate to the customer and relate to your team, what they go through, you'll not be able to create a successful 100% product, successful process.
Yeah. So tell me this, what was the idea behind it? Like, and you literally started off of a garage. Like, you're one of those entrepreneurs who can go and say that you're following the footsteps of the greats. Garage में से निकले हो आप.
गैराज से निकले भी हैं और हम तो जब चालू किया था तब तो टेबल और कुर्सी खरीदने के पैसे नहीं थे.
क्या बात कर?
वी रेंटेड जो शादी वाली लकड़ वाली टेबल होती है ना, एंड वी पुट दैट वाइट कपड़ा चादर जो होती है वो लगा के हमने काम चालू किया था. So it
was just you and your brother?
Yeah, it was just me and my brother with large dream that we did not have any idea that कि CarDekho या ऐसा कुछ नहीं था. When we started off the day one, we actually went and updated our profiles. We want to build $1 billion company.
Nice.
और कैसे होगा नहीं पता.
Sorted. So 15 years ago, you had that in mind.
That like large dream चाहिए था. A dream that we believed.
Okay.
And we both believed in that dream. Then we started a outsourcing company. We would develop software for others, basically.
Interesting. Okay.
And that got us a cash flow immediately. The company was profitable. The thing was that to get the talent back then was very difficult because you're running out of garage. Jaipur is not a tech hub in any case. And the companies that are there, people would come, see our setup and then not even interview.
Oh yeah?
The senior folks, right?
Of course.
Like even if it's a 2-3 year experienced guy, he'll just see the setup and because startups were not the norm back then. I'm talking 2007. लोग आके ऑफिस देखे चले जाते थे, इंटरव्यू भी ना दिए. लाइक करना कैसे करना है. तो फिर वी बेसिकली देन एंडेड अप हायरिंग अ लॉट ऑफ फ्रेशर क्राउड एंड वी स्पेंट अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम ट्रेनिंग मी एंड अनुराग बोथ.
Okay.
So it was a finely curated batch and each one joined as an intern 5,000 to 10,000 rupee range.
Oh, wow.
And that's how the company began. And the team that joined back then is still here.
Really?
Many of them, and they are now in top roles. Somebody the marketing head, somebody the technology head. They all are playing, senior roles now, and I feel so proud. What I realized was that और ये सब छोटे छोटे गाँव के आसपास है. ऐसे भी नहीं कि मतलब बहुत बड़े बहुत खतरनाक इंग्लिश हुए, लोकल कॉलेज से पढ़े हुए, गाँव से आए हुए. I've seen ordinary people become extraordinary.
So cool.
And what I believe is it's not years of experience that matters. What matters most is experiences per year. So I've seen them evolve in 1 year, 5 year learning because they were working directly with us and were exposed to a situation where things were getting built fast and they were learning fast, right?
Nice.
And I always tell any fresher who asks me, I always tell him, choose a company where you'll have to stretch. That's where learning happens. Don't join a cushy job to start with. Choose your right boss. Because that will make a world of difference, as you begin your first job.
100%. That's a great advice. I mean, I think I had seen you present at an ET event maybe 4 years ago, 2018. And I loved something about that presentation. There was a slide with Gyan. And he said, yes, ab Gyan hai, aage badho. That's my style too. I love it. I loved the energy and confidence that you came with on stage. मतलब आपको एक बार भी पलट के देखने की पता, आपको सारी स्लाइड रटी हुई थी. So what I want to get to is also understanding now as a person who's putting in money in other entrepreneurs, are you putting in money, like the simple question is बंदे पे या धंधे पे, किस पे पैसा लगाते हो आप?
I think सबसे इस स्टेज के अंदर तो ऑब्वियसली बंदे पे लगाते हो मेनली. धंधा थोड़ा बड़ा हो जाता है तो धंधे पे लगाते हो. बट मेरी इन्वेस्टमेंट की फिलॉसफी थोड़ी डिफरेंट है. कई जगह पे मैं बहुत पैसा बनाने की उम्मीद कर रहा हूँ. यहाँ पर अच्छे एसेट्स में पैसा डाला है, अच्छे स्टार्टअप्स में पैसा बन जाएगा. कई जगह मैं इन्वेस्ट कर रहा हूँ जहाँ पर मैं इंडिया को आगे बढ़ाने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ. विच मीन्स कि मान लो ये सेट ऑफ फाउंडर्स हैं, इनके जैसे करोड़ों लोग हैं मान लो इंडिया में. तो अगर ये यहाँ तक पहुँचे, भले ही मेरा इसमें 10 गुना ना बने या एग्जिट ना मिल पाए, बट बाय इन्वेस्टिंग इनटू देम I am trying to basically make sure that the whole India learns that this is great.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to do also, because I've got a responsibility as a shark now.
True.
And my responsibility is to move India forward.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I'm there for. And I'm loving it that I've got those all the look. I'm a very street fighter kind of a founder. I have ran the company for 7 years without any external funding. So you have evolved and you can relate to them so much because you have been through that journey. और एक प्रोप्राइटरी फर्म होती है आपकी, लाला जी टाइप चलाते हो आप खुद, उसके बाद उसको ट्रांसफॉर्म कर रहे हो तो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में। आई हैव बीन थ्रू दिस जर्नी, सो आई पर्सनली बिलीव दैट आई फाउंड सम ग्रेट टैलेंट। कुछ ना कोई स्पार्क सब में था जिसमें भी मैंने एसेट में डाला है। आई कुड फाइंड अ स्पार्क्स इन द पर्सनालिटी विच वाज रिफ्लेक्टिंग इन बिजनेस नंबर्स।
ओह नाइस।
तो मेरे को मज़ा आ रहा था वो देखने में। और बंदा तो अगर अच्छा नहीं हो तो पैसा डालूंगा ही नहीं ऑब्वियसली। एंड देन ऑब्वियसली धंधा जो है उसके अंदर मैं शायद ये कहना चाह रहा था कि धंधे में कभी हो जाता है लगेगा कि इतनी स्केल नहीं है, बट आई स्टिल वांट टू डू इट बिकॉज आई थिंक दैट इज राइट कॉज।
Interesting. One more thing. You moved offices from the garage to the bigger office, and what was that story like?
Basically, we outgrew our office. So we had only space for around 15-20 people. उसमें हम 25 बैठ गए थे already. So there's no space left. Then my father-in-law, had a banquet hall kind of a setup.
Oh wow.
तो जहाँ शादियाँ होती है ना, छोटे हॉल, छोटा हॉल, इसमें अराउंड से 200 लोग की 150 लोग की शादी हो सकती है या फंक्शन हो सकता है छोटा मोटा।
ओके।
तो एक उनका पास में प्लॉट था, तो वहाँ पर जाके वी टुक दैट प्लॉट एंड इन अ मैरिज हॉल काइंड ऑफ सेटअप वी बिल्ट आवर सेकंड ऑफिस।
रियली?
या।
ओह वाओ।
तो वो ऑफिस है सेकंड, एंड देन that had around say capacity of around 100 odd, and we thought कि अभी तो इसको बहुत टाइम लगेगा, and we outran that capacity in another year.
Oh wow.
So we were growing fast.
Yeah.
It was fun. The third office that we built was our own, खुद का बनाया हुआ ऑफिस।
Nice.
अपने पैसों से ज़मीन खरीद के और उस पे पूरा ऑफिस कंस्ट्रक्ट।
Where is this? Is this still there?
It's still there in Jaipur. It's near my house only. तो वहाँ पर every single thing, like Anurag and my wife Pihu both built that office, and every single कील से लेके पेंट से लेके सब कुछ खुद खरीदा है।
Oh, nice.
वो खुद खड़े होके बनाया मतलब टाइप, राइट? Though I would not recommend entrepreneurs do that because उसमें टाइम बहुत लगता है।
हाँ।
और रेंट कर लेना बेटर होता है। बट एनीवेज एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम हमारा वो विजन इतना खुला हुआ भी नहीं था, तो वी वर मोर थिंकिंग लाइक कि इसमें प्रॉपर्टी भी बन जाएगी, अपना खुद का रेंटल देते हैं इस टाइप से, इससे अपना बना लेंगे, राइट?
You're being frugal.
या तो वो किया था और बहुत सस्ते में भी बनाया था ऑफिस, और बहुत अच्छा लुक आया था। आई स्टिल रिमेंबर द डे इट वाज इनॉग्रेटेड, आई वाज लाइक आउट ऑफ द वर्ल्ड कि यार अपना खुद का बिल्डिंग, इट वाज जस्ट अमेजिंग फीलिंग।
No, why I was telling you this is because I've just come back from Coworks. Now this is a shared workspace, and like you said, renting or leasing and then become a better option to do. So अभी vibe कैसा रहता है आपके ऑफिस का? What is the zone like?
If you come to our office, it's usually very vibrant.
Yeah.
If I walk, I'll be talking to people, saying hi around. It's a very open door culture.
Nice.
It's a very family kind of a culture. We call it Girnar family.
Yeah.
In our own company, so it's more like everybody is very warm. Very humble, very grounded, but very ambitious.
Very
so
nice.
that's how the culture has been built around.
So we're talking about this successful time and we're looking back right now, but I'm sure there must have been failures. What were those like? What were those stories like?
They were never failures, they were always learning experiences.
Ji.
I never call them failures. But yeah, we have failed a lot.
Yeah.
And we've learned a lot. And I personally always say that, fail fast, learn fast. Fail fast, learn fast. If you are not failing often, you're not learning often.
100%.
And if I take you to this philosophy back in the day when we were launching CarDekho, our release cycle was every day.
Okay.
And what we realized was, our competition would release once a month. So I used to talk to my team, we have got 365 learning opportunities. We launch today, we'll learn something tomorrow, we'll change something tomorrow again. And that kind of, approach made us learn so many things faster, because we were getting market feedbacks, back to us much faster than competition.
Oh, yeah.
And we were not a funded player back then, but we became the largest player without spending a single marketing dollar.
Nice.
In next 4 years, right? So 7 to 11 में हम लोग top traffic champions थे हमारा. We had the highest auto traffic back then.
Oh, sweet.
And we had not even spent a single dollar on marketing. And that's the beauty of learning from what's happening. There have been big failures also, but reality is that when you have a partner who's trustworthy, unlike Anurag, for me, you never felt डर नहीं लगा. Actually क्या है कि I'll be frank, हम लोग जब जॉब करते थे, जो भी सैलरी वैलरी मिलती थी उससे कहीं ज़्यादा हम लोग ने जनरेट करना चालू कर दिया था.
इन्वेस्टमेंट करने,
मतलब इन्वेस्टमेंट नहीं, इन द सेंस कि we were making profits every year.
Nice.
Which was more than the salaries we used to earn, significantly more.
Yeah.
Back then in the days, right?
Okay.
So we knew that भगवान ने 2 हाथ दिए हैं, फिर से बना लेंगे, right?
True.
Even if you lose something, it can't. जब आप पहले थे ना जॉब में, उससे कहीं ज़्यादा आ गए, right?
100%.
And I personally also feel that with a lot of gratitude, I think, in terms of where we have reached, and I think I personally would say maybe I've got a lot more than what we deserve. I know more hardworking people than me. I know more intelligent people than me.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's luck and there's karma.
100%.
And I think that comes back to us for doing good deeds.
No, you've done a great job. I think you're changing. I said it in the intro that we do to the show, that you're changing India, the way India moves. Indian mobility scene काफी इंटरेस्टिंग बना दिया आप लोगों ने. आप फन के लिए क्या करते हो सर?
फन के लिए मैं खेलता हूँ बच्चों के साथ. मैं I'm a very sporty guy. I'm not expert in any game, but I play every single game.
Nice.
चाहे हॉकी बोल लो, चाहे क्रिकेट बोल लो, टेनिस, फुटबॉल. बचपन में I was very good football player.
Really?
School team.
Oh wow.
So I'm in general sporty guy. So I love to play with kids now. My own kid, the 8-year-old, Anurag is also 8-year-old. We all form a gang play. I love to teach my kids. So I'm the guy who takes care of logical ability as a subject and maths as a subject. These are 2 my subjects.
Oh, of course.
So I teach them this.
It's a good divide in the house.
I love teaching them.
Yeah.
And then I love watching Bollywood movies. तो वो पीयू के साथ में काफ़ी देखता हूँ, मेरी वाइफ. कभी कभी हम लोग रात को सीरीज चलाते हैं 11-12 बजे, सुबह 7 बजे तक देखते रहते हैं.
क्या बात है, क्या बात.
वीकेंड पे. तो कभी ऐसे भी करते हैं, बिंज वॉचिंग करते हैं हम लोग एट टाइम्स. मेरे को और इसके अलावा क्या करता हूँ, आई लव टू ड्राइव ट्रैवल. तो वो थोड़ा फन रहता है मेरे लिए. दैट्स समथिंग दैट आई रियली लाइक. बाकी तो मतलब आई थिंक इट्स जस्ट, बाकी फैमिली के साथ बड़ा फन करते हैं हम लोग सारे एक साथ. जब होते हैं तो बहुत सारे गप्पे चल रहे होते हैं पूरे टाइम. तो इट्स लाइक just mad fun. It's like a fish market in our house.
Indian parivar, and I think we were talking to Ghazal on Mashable Mornings and we realized that she said it is very important to stay frugal. और आपका भी ये मेरे को पता है कि अगर कॉस्ट कम है तो फिर प्रॉफिट होगा वाला. कॉस्ट आपने मैनेज कर लिया तो. सो ये एवरीडे नहीं है ये प्रोसेस.
फ्रूगैलिटी को मैं कहता हूँ लीन, LEAN, लीन टर्म कहता हूँ. तो वी कॉल इट्स वन ऑफ आवर कोर वैल्यू. ओके. डिलाइट करके हमारा एक स्लोगन है वैल्यू सिस्टम. उसमें L stands for lean. Lean is about with the same money getting the best outcome out, best quality out. I'm not saying compromise on quality.
Yeah.
But for that quality, how much do you pay? Is about optimizing for that.
Okay.
So leanness, I think, has been in the blood because we actually ended up running a company without any external funds for good 6-7 years.
Yeah.
So your DNA was not like कि investor का पैसा है. तो आप एक एक चीज़ अपने साथ, जैसे आज भी इफ़ आई लीव माई ऑफिस, आई विल मेक श्योर मैं AC बंद करूँगा खुद और लाइट बंद करूँगा. दैट्स इन द ब्लड. बिजली का बिल आता था, सो इतना बड़ा बिल AC से बनता है, राइट. एज ए एंटरप्रेन्योर आई नो 7 साल मैंने उस बिल को देखा है हर महीने, राइट. उसके बाद भी देखा ऑफकोर्स, बट पॉइंट आई एम ट्राइंग टू मेक इज कि यू बिकम अलाइन्ड टू दैट. हाउ यू हायर, what kind of talent pool you basically had to work with, because you did not have a lot of money, so you could not hire too expensive at that point. Now though it's obviously possible, but that basically made sure the innovation culture, the training culture, getting people in, grooming them into much larger productive assets, resource. I think that's what happened, right? The frugality actually is not just about कि मैंने कहाँ पैसे दिए. It's also about optimizing on your resources. Optimizing on, like जैसे हम लोग जाते हैं, हम ट्रैवल करते हैं, we don't stay in 5-star suites or hotels. We take business hotels.
Nice.
Because there's no point, you're not going to use the facilities that it provides.
Yeah.
So why take them if you just are going for a business meeting? Let's just go there.
100%. This is a great advice.
That's what we do still at the company.
Interesting.
We don't fly business class.
Really?
On domestic travel, because that's not required. If it's a long international flight and you are meeting to catch, of course. Okay. Yeah. But most of our travel is economy, and even I travel economy, right? So that's how it works, and you have to lead by example.
Yeah.
So we have got pattern set, culture set. That's what we follow, so and that's that's what you call frugality. I'm calling it lean.
Yeah. Same difference. Are you a big car lover or a bike lover yourself?
I am a big car lover. I'm a big bike lover. पर मेरे को कभी बाइक दिलाई नहीं. मेरे स्कूटर बजाज चेतक दिलाया था. तो अभी भी है मेरे पास वो.
ओजी है भाई वो तो.
तो वो चलाता था मैं। बाइक कभी नहीं दिलाई थी क्योंकि पापा मम्मी को लगता था कि बाइक से एक्सीडेंट हो जाते हैं,
सेम
तेज चलाते, राइट? इट्स द सेम थॉट अक्रॉस इंडिया, बट आई पर्सनली थिंक व्हेन आई read the physics lesson, I realized the center of gravity of bike is better positioned for a more stable ride.
At least way better than an SUV sometimes.
Exactly, right? So, and cars, I love cars. का थोड़ा passion भी था. I have lived in Bombay for some time, and I was here back then in 12th. I did not cleared IIT JEE, and I was here with my father sitting on Marine Drive, and we both were watching, these luxury cars. Zoom I'm talking about long back. Okay, I was in 12th preparing for IIT JEE, and Papa was posted. He was in Reserve Bank back then, so he was posted here only in Mumbai. So I lived here for a year almost with my father, and he would coach me for my IIT. He would imagine करो पढ़ते थे मैथ मेरी और फिर मेरे को पढ़ाते थे, right? It was that level of what he did for me. And which I can never forget. And I just think I hope I'm 10% of my father. But coming to the main point, I think that is when my aspiration of luxury cars kind of happened कि यार ये चाहिए. पापा को मैंने उस टाइम बात करी थी, I distinctly remember कि अपने पास होनी चाहिए थी गाड़ी. तो पापा ने बोला था कि तू लाए ऐसे करके. That gesture I still remember. फिर जर्नी चालू होती है, आप IIT पहुँचते हो, निकलते हो, कीड़ा दिमाग में गया नहीं. तो obviously in the job you don't earn so much to buy a luxury car, so I had a Ford Icon back then. Then we do first year of a company, and between 7 to 8 we make good profits, and 2008 March we go and buy a BMW 3 Series on down payment, no loan.
Oh wow.
Right? And we put the company profits to fulfill that aspiration of the first car, and we gift it to our grandfather. My father wasn't alive by then. He would have been also. He's like literally in tears. And I'm like just so happy, delighted for that. Then there has been string of cars. Obviously we would have the one that that one inspiration I got was from Dil Chahta Hai. If you remember, there was a open top 4-seater.
Yes.
Not 2-seater.
Yeah.
And those 3 boys go in that car. So उस टाइम पे बहुत मन कहता है ये गाड़ी होनी चाहिए.
I think you bought the Mercedes then.
Yeah, I bought the E-Class 350.
Correct.
Cabriolet, which has an open top 4-seater.
Correct. It converts.
It converts, and Cabriolet is convertible actually.
Yes,
I should have said convertible. So वो जो गाड़ी थी ना, उस दिल चाहता है की वजह से इंस्पायर्ड थी. और उससे मैंने खूब ट्रिप किया आसपास के साथ में, और बहुत ही मजा आता है उसके अंदर जाने में. बच्चों को भी फेवरेट गाड़ी वो, मैं अभी वही चलाता हूँ.
हाँ क्या, अरे वाह यार. So, what are road trips like? Where are you going? What's happening on a road trip with family? What's
I think हम लोग राजस्थान में रोड ट्रिप्स तो पास में हो पाएंगे, बहुत दूर नहीं कर पाते. तो हम लोग जाते हैं जैसे उदयपुर चले गए, पुष्कर चले गए, अजमेर चले गए, माउंट आबू टाइप्स, या फिर दिल्ली तो अक्सर जाना होता ही है मेरा. तो इस तरीके की ट्रिप्स तो बहुत सारे चल ही रहे होते हैं. जो लार्जर ट्रिप्स होते हैं वो फिर ऑब्वियसली फ्लाई करके करते हैं. जैसे लेह लद्दाख गए थे हम लोग, या फिर आप गोवा जाते हो, या इस टाइप के डोमेस्टिक ट्रिप्स. क्योंकि अभी के पैंडेमिक के चक्कर में रिवेंज टूरिज्म आया, राइट? और हम लोग ने भी इस साल प्रोबेबली इतने ट्रिप्स कर लिए हैं, लाइक 6-7 ट्रिप्स हैव ऑलरेडी हैपेंड दिस ईयर.
नाइस.
एंड दिस इज नॉट द यूजुअल, एटलीस्ट फॉर अस, राइट? वी डू, बट इतना नहीं करते. मतलब साल के 3 या 4-5 कर लिया, बट अभी तो ऐसा लग रहा है कि नो एंड. आई एम अबाउट टू गो टू कतर टू वॉच फीफा.
नाइस.
तो ये चले ही जा रहा है पूरा साल ऐसे.
आई कंप्लीटली एग्री. मुझे खुला छोड़ दो, मैं इनकॉग्निटो पे स्काई स्कैनर खोल के बैठ जाता हूँ. दैट्स अ ग्रेट लाइफ. बट हाउ डू यू कंट्रोल कैश बर्न? लाइक इफ यू सी them burning for a very long duration.
I think that you do through annual operating plans. So you don't try to go day to day ever. That won't help. You have to basically first look. Our group philosophy is build profitable business.
Yeah.
We are not like the other startups. क्योंकि हमने बहुत टाइम वैसे चलाया है. हमारे नए धंधों को पैसा लूज करना अलाउड है, बट उसकी भी एक लिमिट है कि ये इकोनॉमिक्स की रेंज. अगर ये नहीं आ रही तो फिर पुल बैक. आप अननेसेसरीली नहीं कर सकते बेसिकली.
तो हार्श ट्रूथ आप बता देते हो, मुंह पे बोल देते हो कि भाई.
आई थिंक वो बोलने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती, बिकॉज एवरीबडी नोज आवर डीएनए. दे फील एग्जैक्टली सेम एज आई डू. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि मतलब मेरे को बताना पड़ता है. they have been built in that DNA, so the easier part is that they own it. and they know it's not falling in place, so they fix it themselves. So that's what empowerment is about. आपको बताने की जरूरत क्यों पड़नी बच्चे वो बच्चे थोड़ी हैं, they are founder level materials.
Correct.
They're empowered entrepreneur, they understand.
Yeah.
तो आप बता दो यार इतने ही पैसे आप देख ले क्या करना है, उसकी चॉइस है, उसकी कॉल है.
हाँ, ये अच्छा चीज है, बहुत ही अच्छी चीज है. I think when they feel empowered, they'll basically take risks also which are profitable or good for the group. But kudos, कैसा लगा आपको? मजा आया ना?
अच्छा था.
Thank you so much for being on Mashable Mornings.
चल मजा आया.
Thank you so much. All right.